folks, I'm Tom Vasel, and today I'm going to take a look at 7 small little games here. Are we looking for gems? I really like looking through small games because you never know what you might find. You find interesting things. One of these is a reprint. One is part of a series. One is from one of the most famous designers in board gaming. How many of them are good? Well, we're about to find out. Let's get started. Exit the Magical Academy. So the exit games are escape room style games, and I'm not going to show you much of what's inside this one because I don't want to spoil it for you. I will suffice it to say this is not spoiling it, that the game is going to come with magic wands. And these magic wands are used, well, sometimes through the journey. They're like, you're going to use these often. You use them sort of. This is definitely Harry Potter, and that generic theme, which is okay. Occasionally there's some cute little guys who escape from your thing. There was some misdirects in this one that I did not really like that much. And I felt that the physical things in here, there was one puzzle I liked, but most of them I was not really in enjoyment of. And in fact, this was kind of an exit game that I was very anxious to be done with. I'm starting to get kind of bored with the series, but I did not particularly care for this exit game at all. So Exit the Magical Academy just gets a 5 out of 10 from me. I can see people enjoying it if they like Harry Potter and if you like playing all of these, but this one, for me and for my kids, was a miss. Smitten is a little 2-player game, a micro game that was published in celebration of Stonemaier Games' 10th anniversary. And I don't mean to, I think Stonemaier Games has done great games and great things for our hobby. But this particular game, this 2-player game, well, it's also a solo game, but let me show you how it plays 2-player. When playing Smitten, players are trying to make 2 3x3 grids of cards out of an 18-card deck, one of which is removed from the game. Players are going to get a hand of cards, 3 or 4, depending on how difficult you want it to be. And you're not allowed to say anything other than, I can play, I want to play, or I can't play, I don't want to play. You can say whatever you want. You're like, I can play, but I don't want to. When you play a card, you'll play it anyone's grid. It will show you exactly where to play the card. This is 1. It says your partner must reveal 1 card from their hand, then place another card in either grid. So I put that in your grid. This person shows me their 6, then they put a 5, choose higher or lower. Your partner must place a card in the other grid. You don't have to worry about that when you're playing the second card. So maybe they placed a 5 here in my grid. So I have a 1 up in the corner of this grid and a 5. And as the game goes by, you are trying to place these cards, and you might notice it's going to make a picture. Isn't that nice? So there's 2 of every card out there, and your goal is to play all the cards, because what's going to happen is you may get to a point where you play a card, your partner must place a card in either grid, but neither player can draw a card this turn. And if they can't place a card in the grid for whatever reason, because I should mention, each card must go adjacent to a card that's in the grid already. And if they can't place a card in the grid, then you lose. But once you get all 17 cards out, if you do pull it off, and I've done it once, then you'll flip the 18th card and put it in play. You don't have to play the thing of the 17th card, and you'll have 2 full pictures here. Let's put 9. Let me show you the picture, because otherwise, what's the point? So here you go. You got that? You win the game. There's also solo methods of play, but I mostly played this on dual mode. It's hard not to look at this sometimes as sort of a gimmick, in a sense that it shows all the games and all 9 cards and stuff. And I look at that and I'm thinking, oh, it's okay. I know maybe some people like that sort of Easter eggs. Well, these aren't Easter eggs as much as just shoot-in cameos. But let's talk about the game itself. I don't like it. And I played it many times until we beat it finally. But the problem with the game is, since your communication is, I can play a card, but I don't want to play a card. I can play a card, and I do want to play a card. That's not particularly interesting. Yes, you can figure out as you slowly play the cards, and you're kind of limited by what's in your hand. If you have to have the deck kind of memorized. You really do in this game, because you have to know what cards go where. I don't want to be stuck with a card that says you can only play this card if it's the highest card in your hand or something like that. I don't want you to be stuck with that. So I need to think about this. If I play this card here, you are going to have to do this over there. That helps you get that card out of your hand. But since we can't have a communication, I'd mess with it once solo. Wasn't interested in that either. I was kind of like, ooh, this 2-player thing. But this whole mind meld that you got to get into, it's more of a luck meld to me. You eventually luck into, hey, we played cards in the right order. And it's just more work than I would have put my mind to for such a small game. It doesn't feel like each game that you're doing things different. The 3 always goes in the 3 spot. It's just that this game I played the 3 before the 5. It's inexpensive, I'll give it that, but I'm not really interested in Smitten. A 5 out of 10. RENREN is a little game from Jelly Jelly Games. I asked them if it was Jelly Jelly or Jelly Jelly, and they said Jelly Jelly. But in this game, you're trying to guess this next word. Now, this here is a very vague set of rules, but I think I can show you how to play. In this party game, when it's a player's turn, they're going to turn over a card using the number on the next card to give you a word. So the word here is zoo. So you write that word on this board here. This board opens up, and you're going to write a word that zoo reminds you of, and then another word. And everyone's trying to guess the second word. You start a timer. Everyone has one guess before the timer runs out. If they're wrong, if no one gets it correct, then we keep going until we flip the timer again. If someone guesses during the second time through, then both that person and the clue giver get a card. If they guess in the first time through, only they get a card, the guesser. And if they don't guess at all, then no one gets it. So here I said zoo reminds me of monkeys, which reminds me of gorillas. You do this around the table so everyone goes twice, and that's the game. Whoever has most cards is the winner. This game is too esoteric to be fun. I'll just start out with a rating. It's a 4 out of 10. The idea of I have a clue and I want you to guess it but not too quick has been done before. There's lots of games on that in which I want something from the clay molding game Cluzzle. I want you to guess something before it's done. So this one's I want you to guess a word, but you're guessing it from a single letter that goes to a clue that goes to another clue. And I mean, so in here, so for example, their example in the clues, they only gave one example, was panda. Their next one was monochrome, and the next clue was reversey. I want to be honest here. I would never, in a million years, I shouldn't say in a million years. In a million years, I'd get it. But I wouldn't guess it much earlier than that. Panda, and if you put an M there, I think panda, I'm not going to think monochrome. And even if I did think monochrome, I'm not going to be like, then that's reversey, the game. This is just too weird and esoteric for me. I like the thought of the game, but it's not really enjoyable to play. RENREN, this one's a pass. Give Me the Treasure is an I split, you choose game. And there's a lot of game actually packed in this box. Let me show you. In this game, each player is going to become one of these bandits. You're going to be on a team. Teams will sit across from each other. What you're going to do is you're going to draw 5 cards from a deck as the lead of one team. You're going to split these cards into groups, and you're going to put one of the cards face down. And then the other team, once you put these all face down, the other team, you'll flip the arrow and be like, your turn. They'll take one of the 2 sides. You get the other. After you've taken your cards, you're going to look and see if you can cash cards in for points. See if I have 2 of the same number, I can get 2 points. A 4, 5, 6, 7 gives me 6 coins, etc. Also, there's special abilities that you can play during this time. There's also this great treasure, which is anything you want, and there are cursed paintings. Cursed paintings can't be part of a card combination. And you have to pay 2 coins to get rid of these cards, and you can also get rid of it when you cash in a combination that includes a treasure card of a specific number. That's it. You're just going to keep going through this deck, trying to cash things in and get points. So after you make these, if anyone ever has 30 coins at any given point, then that person or that team is the winner. Give Me the Treasure is one of those games that gets a 6.5 for me because it's almost there. It's a game that, I like the concept of take the 5 cards, put 4 on one side, 1 on the other, 3 on one side, 2 on the other, whatever it is. One's face down. Ooh, what could it be? That's good. But then the special abilities of the different characters mixed with other special cards that can be put into the game, it also feels samey. You do it. You split. And after a while, this kind of gets a little more mind-numbing than I want to. There's a lot of cool things. I like the art. I like the theme. I do like the special abilities. I like the idea of collecting cards, and you want to get them into a set when you turn them in, but also you want to start scoring points before bad stuff happens to you. So it's a cute idea. The whole thing comes together, but not in a great way. It's just shy of that. So just a 6.5. I want to play it as again, but I'm not sure I'm going to love it when I do so. So Give Me the Treasure. Potato Man is a trick-taking game. This is a remade version of the game. I've played this in the past before, and this is a trick-taking game where you're not following suit. You are following nonsense, different suit. I'll show you. In this game, you have a deck of Potato Man cards, and these cards have various colors, red, blue, green, and yellow. The reds are from 5 to 18, blues 4 to 16, greens 3 to 14, and 1 to 13 is yellows. 1, 2, and 3 are Potato Man, and 14, 16, 17, 18 are Lord Fry, who's evil. On your turn, you're going to play a card from your hand. These cards will be split out between everybody. You'll play a card from your hand, and each other player must play a different color. If they can't, the round is immediately over. Whoever plays the highest color, in this case it's green, will take a sack of that color. In this case, it's the green again, and they're going to get 3 points. If all the cards in the stack are gone, then you'll take one of these golden sacks, which is worth 5 points. And then that person will lead off in the next trick, playing a card. And remember, everyone has to play different colors. The only exception is if Lord Fry is in a trick and Potato Man is in a trick, then Potato Man wins automatically, which is great because these yellow cards are worth 4 points, the second highest other than the golden sacks. You'll play until the round ends when someone can't play a number card or until you play all the cards. And then you will play the number of rounds equal to the number of players. Whoever has the most points, which is essentially how many sacks you've collected each round. Whoever has the most points is the winner, and that's the game. The idea of playing different suits is a clever one. Sometimes. I mean, I've played, I think, 4 different trick-taking games that do that now. And it sometimes causes a round to go really quickly when it's green, yellow, blue, and the next person's play red, and somehow they have no red in their hand. Ha ha ha, everyone laughs. Let's start again. I don't love that. That's one of my biggest sticking points with the game. It's like, now we got to shuffle and deal out again. Yes, we all got a good chuckle out of it, but goodness gracious. The idea of wanting to win with the lower cost cards is a good one. The Potato Man beating the King Fries happens so infrequently because if you have King Fries, you almost never will play it. The only way it's going to be played is when there's like the blue and the green, and I'm like, well, I have to play red or yellow. Well, I'm playing yellow. I don't have any yellow, so I'm forced to play red. The only red I have is King Fries. I guess I'll play it and hope you don't have that. And meanwhile, the first guy is like, no one wants to set that up either. So it's a funny or interesting thing. It just doesn't happen as much as you'd want it to happen. I like the art. I like the concept of it. It plays. It's inoffensive enough. This one's fine, but nothing special. A 6 out of 10. Potato Man. Klink. Yeah, I don't know what this cover means. This is a game in which you are taking number cards and giving them to other people. That's kind of it. Let me show you. Klink is made up of a deck of 63 cards that go from -5 to 20. Each round of the game, you're going to put up 3 special cards from a deck of special cards in the middle of the table. And then one person is going to go first. They're going to draw 2 cards. They will look at one of them. Ooh, a 1. I will decide whether to keep them or to pass them to someone else. If I keep them, I turn them both face up in front of me. Oh man, an 8. If you haven't guessed by now, points are bad in this game. If I don't want to keep them, I pass them to someone else. That person can look at either one of them. Doesn't have to be the one I did. And we keep passing it around until it gets to someone keeps them or until it gets to the last player who has to keep them. Now, when you flip the cards face up, let's say you flip a card face up and now you have 2 with the same number. Great, you can turn them face down. Now they're both zeros. Also, if you happen to have a run, here are 1, 2, or 3 in front of you, then you can take one of these cards here, exchange one of your face-up cards with a face-up card in another person's collection. Well, I was looking across the table there at Johnny's cards, and he has a card I want, so I'm going to give him this 8, and then I'm going to take his 0. So I'm doing much better now. I'd probably actually prefer that -2. This keeps going on. Whoever takes the cards will start the next turn, and you go on. As soon as someone has 10 cards in front of themselves, the round will end. When the round ends, you just add up your points. Remember, face down ones are 0, and whoever has the most cards, even in a tie, will lose 10 points. You then will write your points down on the score sheet, go to the next round. Once someone gets to 77 points, the game ends, and whoever has the fewest points is the winner. So this is kind of hey, it's kind of like cockroach poker, except I'm giving you 2 cards instead of 1, and I know one of those cards, but not the other. What are they going to be? There's some weird things can happen with this, because you can get a bunch of cards, and then you're like, well, I might as well get the most cards, because then I get minus 10 points. And if I get a lot of cards, by very nature, you'll probably get some duplicates, turn them face down. And if I can get like 5 points total on the cards face up, and then get -10, that's -5 points. Huzzah. And so you're trying not to give cards to people, or you're trying to force high cards on people. It's amusing. It's fine. It's the kind of game I would maybe play in a mass market group. I will say going to 77 points, oh my, it takes forever. I don't want to play the game that many rounds in a row. And it's such a weird name, Klink. It just kind of fizzles off for me. So again, it's fine to play. I'd give it a 6 out of 10. I'm slightly amused about it, but that's about it. Shadow Blades from Richard Garfield is another reprint of his. Richard Garfield, of course, being best known for either Magic the Gathering or King of Tokyo, or a bunch of other different games that he's involved in nowadays. But Shadow Blades is a game in which you're playing ninjas and you're trying to control different clans and then take those clans out of missions. That sounds all very thematic, but it's actually a number placement game. Let me show you. Each player is going to have these 4 colors placed in front of them, and players are going to randomly start with a card in their hand. On a player's turn, they're either going to draw or they're going to deploy. When you draw, there's 3 piles here. So I look at this one. Do I want to spy? I don't know. Let's look at the next one. Ooh, common arms. Nah, I don't know. Let me look at the next one. Trespassing. Okay, I'll take that. Then you put down a card on each deck you look through. So the next time someone comes through, they'll look and go, ooh, a spy and black haze. Do I want that? If you don't take any of the 3 piles, you'll take the top card of the deck. The other thing you can do is deploy. You can deploy someone below the proper color. Hey, I'm playing an assassin. You can deploy somebody with arms. Hey, it's a courier with common arms. You can also deploy missions above them, but you can only deploy missions above it if you're dominating it. So whoever has the highest number to spot, so I have 1 here, I would take this red. I'm controlling it for now. And then I could play a card on top of this, a mission. At the end of the game, I will get bounties in a mission if I dominate this area. So I'll get these 3 coins at the end of the game if I dominate it. On the other hand, if I play this green one here, I'm going to get this 1 point at the end of the game, whether I dominate it or not. However, I have to dominate it to be able to put it here. Many of the cards that you play are going to have special abilities when you play them. So, for example, if I play, let's go through, choose an opponent. Look at all the cards in your hand. Take 1 in your hand. Then give a card to that opponent. Take 4 cards from the top of the deck. Add 1 to your hand. The more bounties, some can go in different spot. Choose an opponent. Pick cards from your hand and discard them all. Then your opponent must discard the same number of cards. So things like that. You're going to go through this whole deck. Once you've gone through the whole deck, you look at all the missions, and whoever has the most points is the winner. This is another one that is almost there for me. I give it a 6.5. The idea of playing cards, and you're trying to play the right card at the right time so that then the next time you can play a mission card there, or play the mission at the same time and take control of that, that's interesting. Here's the problem with this game. It's too small. The numbers are too small. The points are too small. There's cards that make other people discard cards, or cards that attack other people. And so after a while, you're like, well, this person has 6 in red. I don't think I can beat them. And the game kind of fizzles to a halt. It doesn't have any kind of grandiose ending, which I think is important. I think it's important to have this more bombastic ending. So Shadow Blades just gets a 6 from me. I wanted to like it more. I like the art a ton. I like the theme. It's interesting. I love the drafting in the middle. It's the same kind of drafting as in a game called Canopy, where I love that whole pick up a pile. The problem is, in this particular game, after a while, you look at that first pile and you go, yes. There's no incentive to not take it. There's no like negative cards that you might want to leave there for other players, which makes those drafting games work a little better. So it's a nice little production from Korean board games, but this is one that I would pass by, I think. It's just okay. So that's Shadow Blades. And that's it there, folks. That's 7 games. As you can see, none of them really did much for me, but maybe you feel differently. Well, if so, let people know in the comments. Tell them where I'm wrong and where you're right at, and let them know about these games so they can hunt them down themselves. Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower. I'm Tom Vasel. We'll see you next time. Hey everybody, thanks for watching another video from the Dice Tower. Hey, you want to learn more about us, communicate with us? We have a Facebook group, we have a Discord channel, lots of different ways to get involved with the Dice Tower. You can find that in our Linktree link below. So just click that, it will take you and you can communicate with us on Facebook, join our Facebook groups. There's lots of cool things that you can find and become part of the Dice Tower. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Vasel.